So how's that new Barbarian path that Steven created for you working out?
The Path of the Spell Eater Minotaur. Well, actually, it's not the Spell Eater Minotaur, but is the Path of the Spell Eater for D&D 5e Barbarian. We got some homebrew on it.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Now bring on those spells. We'll just eat them on into this video.
All right, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about a homebrew Barbarian path, Path of the Spell Eater, that was created over on the Nerdarchy website by Stephen Partridge. It is actually based off of a previous product, Horus the Horn Lord, as well as I think like it started. There was some mention in another product as well, the Wizened, where we went over the goat folk, right?
Indeed.
So like that was kind of like the origin of the Spell Eater Minotaur. And then like from there we had this other product. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. But then Steven was inspired. I'm like, well, what if that was actually a barbarian path, which kind of makes sense. And our Spell Eater Minotaurs do have the ability to, eat spells, and they're really hard to hurt with magic. So when we started playing this new game, I'm like, what Nerdarchy subclass do I want to use? And I was like, oh, I want to play a Spell Eater Minotaur. And we can do that because we can play a Minotaur, and we have this subclass that Steven created.
So I think, number one, the game is great. We're all playing Nerdarchy created subclasses. But I think he actually added Minotaur as like a regular playable race in his setting so that you could specifically play your character, which I think is always great when GMs are willing to, make those kind of allowances for, artistic license.
So we're going to link down in the description where you can find the article to check out. And also we're going to take this and put the homebrew version of this on D&D Beyond. So it's only fair that we mention D&D Beyond is a sponsor of this video. If you want to power up your games, go grab some D&D Beyond. You'll be able to go look at the homebrew as well. You might need a free account to do it. But like I said, it's a free account to sign up for it, and you can go check it out for nothing. And maybe it's something you want to add to your game. Let us know what you think. But also, like I said, you can also go to the website and check out that article. We'll put a link to it down in the description. Slake your dark fantasy hunger with the Path of the Spell Eater for 5e D&D.
Hey, you're looking for another way that you can help support the channel to keep making videos like this, as well as all that aforementioned awesome content over on nerdarchy.com? Why not come check us out over on Patreon and support us there?
As a special thank you for DMs and players alike, you'll receive 5e content that we drop every month. You'll get, drop-in encounters like Horus the Horn Lord, as well as many other things like we make feats, spells, subclasses, obviously, magic items that we sometimes turn in print and play, cards, and so much more, even a chance to game with Nerdarchy. We have a free sample you can download down in the description below. One of these cards up here. Go click away and check it out and support your nerds.
All right, so we are, as we said, we're playing these classes in a Nerdarchy game. We play Tuesday nights over on Nerdarchy live channel. We're getting ready to finish up the next few sessions to wrap this campaign for now. About end of December, so there's still time to come check it out and either watch it live or not. But we're going to go ahead and pull up this subclass and kind of talk about it so that you guys can see it, as well as get into how awesome this particular class is.
All right, so the class itself actually kind of spans two different articles because it's been revised, and the old article has a lot of the flavor stuff. So I'm going to go right there to get into the origin of the Spell Eater Minotaur. Those who honor the path of Horus the Horn Lord are called Spell Eaters, originally a primal path limited to Minotaurs. Spell Eaters brand themselves with magic capturing runes all over their bodies. These runes activate during the Barbarian's rage, turning magic against the very creature that first cast it. As part of their initiation, each Spell Eater is branded or tattooed with arcane symbols all over their body. These symbols draw magic into them like magnets and cause the energy to flow through the veins of the Spell Eater, much as a sorcerer's magic does. The magic channels into the barbarian's weapon or fist, empowering their strikes with raw force of magic. Originally, spell eaters were servants to a dark god, the strongest, smartest, and fiercest of minotaurs. Over the course of the time, and other races watched with horror as swaths of mages fell in bloody combat with savage warriors immune to many of their spells. Unwilling that such bloodbaths would occur again, mages studied captured spell eaters, unraveling their secrets. Then said wizards, warlocks, and otherwise made their own spell eaters. At first, the goal was self-preservation, but over time, wizards warred as they are wont to do, and warlocks hungered for power. Each with their own motives, spellcasters from near and far battled alongside their own spell eaters. For generations, spellcasters and those seeking protection from magic have surrounded themselves with spell eaters, bodyguards tattooed from head to toe or branded like feral beasts. Some choose the life of a spell eater, others are forced into it. How you came to this path is up to you. For inspiration, consult the table below, and it's a D8 table with a bunch of different ways that you could have become a spell eater.
So I think that's, as evocative as any other intro paragraph. It's a little bit longer than the typical WotC one, but it's definitely rife with history and lore. I absolutely dig what's there.
And it's also it has the original version. And in this post, there's a link to that post for that flavor text for like the charts and stuff. But also so we started messing with it. I looked at it originally and it looked a little underpowered to me. I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
I just want to play it. And then Steven went back and looked at it and goes, I think it's a little underpowered. And then he kind of like amped it up a little bit.
So we're actually going to talk about the revised version here. So third level, you're going to get branded rage. Beginning when you choose this path at third level, your rage becomes fueled by the magic in the air. Your tattoos, eyes, or other feature glow brightly, shedding bright light within 30 feet of you and dim light with an additional 30 feet. While you are raging in this way, your attacks are magical and you deal additional force damage with each of your attacks equal to your constitution modifier. Additionally, you learn one cantrip of your choice. Choose from Druidcraft, Prestidigitation, or Thaumaturgy. This is a side effect of your latent mystical power flowing through your body.
Spell Eater, also starting at third level, you learn to eat spells by absorbing their magic essence into your body. When you're hit with a spell or fail a saving throw for a spell, you can use your reaction to gain resistance to any damage from the spell and regain one use of your rage feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your constitution modifier. You regain all expended uses for this feature when you finish a long rest.
The cantrip that you get, not overly powerful. It's literally just a flavor aspect of it. So pretty cool. Being able to deal additional force damage equal to your con mod is pretty cool. Glowing when you rage for 30 feet, you're a freaking beacon. This is going to be, incredibly...
You're not going to be being sneaky while you rage, that's for sure.
So I definitely, think that's an interesting aspect. I might bring that down to 15 feet, but 30 feet. Hey, you really want to glow? I got no problems with it. It's like, listen, I can't see. Listen, let me get mad.
But I mean, it also makes you a target. It also means like from far away, people see that something's going on.
Absolutely.
So I mean, even with the smaller radius, I guess you would get that as well to a certain extent. So it's a mixed bag. We're kind of figuring out now as we play whether or not every time you attack, whether or not that's too strong or not. So like I generally. I think now we just hit level 8, so my con went up again. So I've got like 5, 7. So I do plus 10 points of damage plus the die. So it's kind of a lot. Most of the other barbarians have ways to add more damage as well. So like I think the one barbarian does it is as a radius, like an aura. It's not very much damage, but it tends to affect multiple creatures. Right. So that could be more. Other ones have different things where they add extra dice once per round. So this is a little bit heavier on the damage side so far.
Being able to get resistance to a spell via your reaction, that when you're hit or you fail a saving throw, it's going to eat up those reactions. You're only doing that once a round unless you somehow find a way to get another reaction. So like all in all, it might be a little heavy on the damage at third level. counting as magic as early as 3rd level is potent, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form it's not game breaking, and it doesn't make me bat an eye. Just call attention to it is all.
Yeah, so there's that. And like we said, we're playing it, so we're getting a feel for how it plays out. Being able to gain resistance to a spell, when you fail the save, is not a big deal because it just means okay, you would have done that if you passed the save.
Right.
It's not like you can't stack them together.
Right.
To take only a quarter of a damage,
Right.
where
It's if you're hit or you fail.
yeah, compared to the Totem Barbarian Bear, where you kind of like
Everything but psychic.
yeah, everything was psychic. So there's that, and again, limited by Constitution and your reactions.
All right, so starting at 6th level, you're going to get Arcane Memories. You can perfectly remember anything you have experienced within the past month, as remnants of arcane energy send temporal visions through your mind. Additionally, you can make an Intelligence Arcana check to attempt to harvest memories from locations or objects as you absorb the residual magic around them. To me, this is very unthematic of a barbarian, but completely badass to have the barbarian be like, yes, I know what happened here, or like, I can recall perfectly what I had for breakfast, 3.5 weeks ago. Like, I think that's a lot of fun and breaks the typical norm for a barbarian. And since you're not typically going to have a high intelligence modifier, being able to make Intelligence Arcana checks, I'm absolutely digging that.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing as well. Yeah, also at 6th level, bonus proficiency, gain proficiency's Arcana skill as residual magic seeps into your mind, charging your instincts with magical intuition. Again, you're probably not going to have a super high intelligence. As a barbarian, you tend to need a high con, a high dex, and a high strength to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a lot of points left to play with.
Yeah,
so
intelligence, charisma are your typical dump stats for a barbarian, because wisdom tends to go into perception and survival, which is a barbarian skill. So, like, having that compensation, you are a magic-based class in theme, so getting access to Arcana is a bonus here. I think both those 6th level abilities are interesting and elevate the theme of the class. And I think, in my opinion, you're not getting better at combat, so it's more front loaded. I think if anything, you might flip that 1st level ability of adding your con modifier to damage to 6th level and give Arcana at 3rd. I think that might be a good switch.
Well, I think 6th level is usually the kind of the ribbon ability for barbarians.
Okay, sure.
Or is it 10th level? One of them. Speaking of 10th level.
Sigil Body. You add new tattoos, brands, or other markings to your body so you can invoke to aid you in battle with spells. All of these spells can be cast while you are raging, and you gain the following sigils. Aegis, you can cast a shield spell a number of times equal to your con mod. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Locatus, you can expend a use of your rage to cast Locate Creature or Locate Object. Oratio, you can expend a use of your rage to cast Sending. Sana, as a bonus action, you can spend hit dice to recover hit points. You can spend a number of hit dice up to your proficiency bonus. And Silentium, you can expend a use of your rage to cast Silence.
So, you get some more access to things, and you're going to power it with your rages, which is really good because every time you spell it, you regain rages. So it helps to be able to have more things to spend that resource on.
And again, like, other than shield, like, most of these are not combat related. I can cast Sending, I can locate object. Silence, you can use in combat. That's a good way. But most of the time it's like, all right, well, the mage is just kind of shift over or cast something that doesn't require verbal.
I mean, I guess the other thing is, like, how jacked up is it that you're being able to use them while you're raging, because that really breaks what the barbarian does. So we're not 10th level yet, so we haven't seen that in play.
Right.
Even in the damaging aspects, though, I believe, like, I rolled 2 crits in the same round, and I still only did a lot of damage. I did like 50 some points of damage, like 51 points of damage. Well, the rogue in, like, the same round or the next round also crit it, and he did 22 with 1 attack. So it's pretty, like, on par, right?
I would agree.
For the damage dealers. I didn't think it was, like, too crazy out of whack. Magical recovery. Beginning at 14th level, you can regain a hit die every time you regain a use of your rage. Additionally, you can expend a hit die as an action to end any number of magical effects on yourself.
I have to say that is potent, and the fact that you've got hit dice being added into this barbarian's class abilities is nice. I think it's a underused mechanic, and we've talked about this on the channel. We've even created a rule set based off of hit dice. So I 100% dig this particular ability. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, to kind of add to that, like, and so in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, we see a dark gift that actually leans into that.
mhm.
And then I believe one of the subclasses, I don't remember which one, I think it was Tasha's Cauldron and everything, not Fizzbin's, where you actually get to use a hit die in one of the core subclasses. in
Okay.
there.
I-
So
I-
it's starting to creep into the game.
It'll happen. It'll happen. And then last thing, spell gluttony. Also starting at 14th level, your spell eating feature is no longer limited by your Constitution modifier.
Okay, that's a bit strong, but again, you're still limited by your reaction.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to play it and see if it ends up being like, oh, this is really broken.
All right. So the thing to break down, if you're playing a spell eating Minotaur, you're gonna want to max out that con. You
Yeah.
want to have that. So you only get one reaction a round. How often are combats lasting more than 5 rounds?
Well, that's true too.
So
right,
unless you're like, oh, I've somehow gained a second reaction via some, broken ability or, magic item that the DM has put in the game, and combats are lasting, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds.
and it's just resistance to that one instance.
It's resistance to that, damage type on that particular spell. It's not like shield that it lasts until the next thing. It's you get it for that particular attack. So
if you get hit by 2 spells,
So-
you can't use it on both.
right. So unless you had that thing where combats last 4 rounds and I can always have 2 reactions because I am some crazy thing. Okay, well then
Hydra, because I'm a Hydra.
then clearly.
Oh my god, the Spell Eater, Path of the Barbarian Spell Eater Hydra. That's the way to go.
But their extra, even their extra reactions are to make opportunity attacks.
Yeah,
It
that's
specifically calls that out. So everything that works with that, all right, if you are in a massive combat, all right, the game that I ran, we had 11 rounds of combat, because it was this whole big wending tower, constant thing. And yeah, I recorded 11 rounds of combat, but not all of them were legit fighting. There were ones that were investigative and whatever have you. So those rare things happen.
Now I will say, there is one area I at 4th level I took a feat. I took Mage Slayer, right, which also can suck up my reactions as well, if there's a spellcaster on hand. But had I taken Great Weapon Fighter, I get a +10. I generally get a +10 to damage. That'd be a +20 to damage with every hit while raging.
Yeah.
Which might greatly change things. Now I will say, depending on what kind of build you go with, going with a human in this case gives you more feat options, which would definitely lean into that, make it more viable. But for this particular path, you really want to max out your con, because it's going to be your armor class, it's going to be the number of times you can spell eat, it's going to be your spell eater damage. So I feel like you're gonna want to rush that, and most games you're starting with a 16 probably. So your 4th level and your 8th level is going to probably go into maxing out.
But the thing to look at, and you don't often see this, is beyond these particular class abilities.
Yeah.
It's applying to your hit points. It's applying to those things, but it's not applying to any kind of skills.
Yeah.
And that's where the crossover happens. Yeah, it's a good save, but when you're bumping stats, it's mechanics in combat, but it's everything else applies to some skill. You're not concentrating on any kind of spells as a barbarian, so it's not even applying to concentration checks. So it doesn't do a whole lot for you outside of those few instances. So I don't think it's that big a deal. Like, you have to weigh all of it. So I like it as is. I might, like, if I were creating it, I might, tweak some things, beyond that. Like, attacks are magical and con damage, I think, is better at 6th, than I'd give the Arcana at 3rd, because they also get, other things. So, but minor things as is, and we're already past 6th level, so it wouldn't matter for your character.
Yeah.
But all in all, I absolutely dig it. It can be completely played as is. And like I said, you can check out the article. You can check it out over on D&D Beyond, and absolutely, see what you think.
It's been a lot of fun in the game that we've been playing. I've enjoyed it, and the question is, what do you guys think? Looking over it, do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it's underpowered? Let us know and share your thoughts and ideas with the Nerdarchy community down in the comments below.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like share, subscribe, even go ahead and rage on all over that notification bell so you don't miss a single video.
Quick reminder, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we drop new videos here on the channel, so come on back. But you can't wait till then? No worries, we got you covered. Up here, you can check out a new player race, the Goat Folk, and also Order of the Wizened. Go check it out.
So until next time, stay nerdy.